Good morning, Manual High School. I'm Lily Nelson.
And I'm Shay Dobson.
Thank you for tuning in to Manual AM.
Information for the upcoming swim and dive season is now available in Manual's athletic office.
The last day to sign up for this year's Idea Festival is today.
The debate team will have its annual WWDL kickoff workshop at U of L this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Also, the debate parent meeting will be held in room 212 at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, September 15th.
The interest meeting for the Harry Potter Club will take place on September 17th from 2:30 to 3:30 in room 254.
The informational meeting for the formation of the DuPont Manual Thrillers dance team will be held in room 137 on September 17th from 2:20 until 3:30. Dancer choreography experience is a plus.
If you're looking forward to homecoming, Haley Watson and Robbie Keys have information about upcoming changes.
With homecoming and pep rallies quickly approaching, Manual has made some important changes to the homecoming court this year. The new system will allow for every Manual affiliated club or team to nominate a prince and princess.
So before, we would pass out slips, everyone would nominate whoever they wanted, and then we would vote on whoever the leading nominees were. Well, that's a great idea, except you really only needed 6 or 7 votes because the voting was so scatterbrained. You know, if you got more than like 8 or 9 votes, you were going to be on the final ballot. And then it turns homecoming court really into just a popularity contest, and that's not really the direction that we want to see it go. So what we're going to change this year is we are going to take the nomination process and move that into the hands of the clubs.
Changes were made to the nomination process in order to include a more diverse group of students that greater represents Manual.
Any club can nominate a homecoming prince or princess. So NHS, Beta Club, Y Club, the Girls Lacrosse team. If you have an account with Manual, you can nominate a homecoming queen or king. Then, once we have all of the nominations from the clubs, that's going to be who you vote for out of the final king and queen. So all of those nominees will be a part of homecoming court. When Ms. Spiegelhalter and I were students here at Manual, homecoming was a huge deal. I mean, they had to stop selling homecoming tickets. And that's just not the environment it is right now, and we want to change that. You know, homecoming should be about the athletes, it should be about our school spirit, it should be about everybody, taking a deep breath and relaxing and having a good time, going out to the game, going back to the dance, and it just being a fun weekend for the entire school.
Changes to the homecoming court nomination process will be used for the first time at the football homecoming on September 25th. For Manual AM, this is Robbie Keys.
Leah Weiland and Lauren Traylor explain the recent changes to the grading scale.
Over the summer, the Jefferson County School Board voted to change the grading scale beginning this school year. The new grading policy could have meant an additional $5.5 million for last year's graduating class.
Well, I think it's going to be greater distribution. You have a greater window of opportunity there, so I think you'll see more people have a greater opportunity to gain access to more financial support.
4 of the 5 counties closest to JCPS, Bullitt, Oldham, Shelby, and Spencer, currently use a grading scale similar to the new one.
Well, I think it's going to be greater distribution. You have a greater window of opportunity there, so I think you'll see more people have a greater opportunity to gain access to more financial support.
The board voted 5-1, allowing more students to raise their GPAs and qualify for more scholarships.
There's several people that believe that while it gives students a greater opportunity for success, it also waters it down a little bit too, because the grades come down to a 90 versus a 93.
I think that when they implemented it was a good idea because a lot of Catholic schools and other schools use it already. So when we apply to college and colleges look at our grades, it's the same for everyone. But on the other hand, teachers can make their tests and quizzes or anything they want worth more as part of our whole grade. So it's not necessarily easier to get an A.
And I think that it's more beneficial to us as students, but it kind of stinks for the upperclassmen because our freshman year, if we were to get like a B from a 91 or 92%, that still counts as a B in our GPA right now, whereas it could have been an A.
For Manual AM, this has been Leo Wieland.
Peter Champelli and Drew Fry have the story on the newest class at Manual.
This year, students were given the opportunity to take a new economics class taught by Mr. Sparks. This class includes aspects of both macro and micro, along with other economic topics.
This class, the way I understand it, the way we're approaching it so far, is more of a general class, so we get a little bit of both, micro and macro, maybe on a more basic level than an AP class will be required to take. But we also get to bring in some things like finance, personal finance, budgets. So I think it'll be a really fun class.
With like wanting to own my own salon and wanting to start my own business in the future, I wanted to know how I needed to focus on my budgets for certain stuff and how I need to know like how much money it would cost to start a business, how much I would need to know in order for that economy to work for my business.
Though this class has been offered in the past, this is the first time in a few years that Manual students will have the opportunity to take a non-AP economics class.
It's usually offered because it's generated by student one. And that one is a student may need an additional social studies class for graduation requirements, and they want an economics class, but they don't want the AP macro or the AP micro. So economics will fit that bill for that student.
Overall, this class will not only help students graduate, but it will help prepare them for their future.
I think it's going to be a great opportunity for them to learn a little bit, on a broad sense how the economy works, but there's a lot of personal application with it, how it applies to them. We have a lot of seniors in the class, so going to college next year, I think they're going to get a sense of how to handle their money. Again, that personal finance aspect of it, I think, is going to be real interesting to them, and a little bit about how the world works.
From Manual AM, this is Drew Fry.
Please stay tuned for a special September 11th tribute.
9/11 was my very first year of teaching. So I was a nervous new teacher because I had actually only been in the classroom for a few weeks.
I was teaching business in a computer applications class in room 220.
I remember it very well. I was teaching European history.
At that time, there came an announcement somewhere around 9:45, 10:15, something like that.
And our other business teachers, Mrs. Parsons, who's actually the principal at Brown now, called me and said, "Hey, turn on the TV."
Someone came to my room and told me to turn on the television.
When Miss Keepers came over the intercom and told us to turn on our TV sets, that there had been an attack on the Twin Towers.
We turned the TV on and they were filming the towers and talking about what had happened.
I was in shock, thinking how in the world could the pilot have made such an error?
And then as we watched that day, you couldn't take your eyes off the TV that day.
I can't explain to you the hush that came over the entire school building at that time.
The administration, maybe smartly so, came on and said, "Hey, let's focus on school and let's turn off the feeds and let's give us some time to process exactly what's going on."
And then when the day was over and I went home, then it all kind of sunk in that it was real. And then the next days after that were really hard to focus.
I remember, it's one of the few things in my life that I remember the exact place, time, what I was doing, where I was at when it happened. There's probably 3 or 4 things in your life that you'll be able to look back at and think, I know exactly where I was when that happened. So it was a terrible tragedy, one of these, and every year when it comes around, it shakes me up, sort of relive it. And then when you put it in perspective that we've got students here, majority of our students here don't remember it, or something that we as in our generation need to make sure that our students remember what happened that day and why it is that we have some of our current policies in our government and why we're in our militaries in some of the locations we're in now, and sort of give them some perspective.
Those are all of your announcements for today. Thanks for watching and have a great day, Manual High School.